Okay, so I'm going to explain how to combine animation and video. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to combine the animation video in Animate, and then we're going to import that into Premiere and publish the whole thing, the animation and the video together as an MP4. So first of all, so what I've done, rather than you creating the animation from scratch, I've provided just a simple animation. It's just a movie clip and a motion tween, so it's literally just this shape animated moving from left to right across the screen. So if you download this Animate file called Anim and Video, and that's got the basic animation in it already. Okay, now obviously when you're creating your own animation, there's just one or two things you need to be aware of in terms of settings. So if we just go to Modify and Document here. Okay, I'll just bring the panel over here. So best using about 24 frames a second is a good frame rate for video and animation together. So just make sure you've set the document to 24 frames per second. You can do that quite easily by, like I've said, going to Modify and Document and changing the frame rate here. Okay, so we've got that set up. So now we're going to import our footage in. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is look at the original footage that, again, you should have downloaded from Teams. We need to convert that to an MP4. So a lot of this tutorial is just about formats and getting things in the right format so they're compatible with one another and you can use them together. So to do that, we're going to use Media Encoder. So if you open up Media Encoder, that a minute. Okay, once Media Encoder is opened, if you just click on the plus sign at the top here, navigate to your the original footage. So I'm just going to show you what that's called. Just find the right folder. Okay, so it's if you just mouse over any of the files as well, you get a little pop-up that tells you what format it is. So it's this footage here and the item type 3GP file. So that's the format. So that's the one we're opening. That will import that into Media Encoder, and we want to turn this into an MP4. So if you click on the drop down here, make sure you select H.264. Now actually H.264 is MP4, okay, so it means the same thing. So if you select that, then just click on output file here, and then you can determine where it places the MP4 that it's going to create, where it saves it to. So if we click on there and just make sure that that is the output file is going to go into your video and animation folder. Okay, we can click save there, and then if we click on the green arrow here, the play icon, that will analyze and convert the footage. Okay, get the green tick, so that's all done, that's fine. We can minimize Media Encoder. Okay, so we go back into Animate, so again maximize Animate, and if you go to File, Import, and Import Video, select here where it says where is your video file. If you just click on where it says embed H.264 video in timeline, design time only, this video cannot be exported. So what this does is it enables us to actually see the video playing on the Animate timeline here. Okay, so we click on that, the bottom one here, click on Browse, navigate to our so again we've got the footage here, so if you mouse over and just make sure you select the one that we've converted to an MP4. Okay, so again when you mouse over it'll say item type MP4. Double click on that. Next, just make sure you've ticked include audio. It should be ticked by default. Okay, and then if you click on next and finish, that should import that in. Okay, so if you go to the library, So if you can't see the library, just go to Window and Library, and the library will appear, and you should see in there you've got your MP4. Yep. So in the library we have the video name .mp4, so we know that's the right one, and then we can just drag that. So before we drag it, we need to create a layer for it. So if we go to the plus sign here to create a new layer, drag that new layer underneath our animation layer here with our animated square on. Again, go back to the library, so Window and Library if you can't see it, and you can just drag that video file onto this new layer that we've created. Okay, so once you've dragged the video clip from the library here, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the stage, the white rectangle here, is the same size as the video. So what we can do, if we go into the library here, right click on our video footage and select properties, you'll see that we've got down here the dimensions in pixels of our video. So it's 2048 by 1080. Okay, so you just need to remember that those dimensions, and then we need to change the stage to match. Okay, so 2048 by 1080. So if we go to here, go to modifying document, and see here where it says stage size, just need to type in 2048, sorry, not 6, 8, 2048 by 1080. Okay, so the two match. Okay, and then we can now drag our footage, so we can do it manually, and just drag it, and you'll get these smart guides should be visible, and it'll enable you to kind of align the video with the stage. Okay. Okay, and then just to check, I'm just going to double click on the hand here to maximize our view. If we now scrub the playhead, you can see that the video is playing on the timeline and our animation is playing over the top. Okay, so that's what we're after. Okay, and then you're ready. Now obviously if you're creating your own animation, you won't have your animation here. You can now start to make your animation on a separate layer, and obviously you know, sync it with the video. Okay, now we're going to import some sound in as well, so very straightforward to do that. We want to create a new layer for that as well. Okay, we'll drag that to the top. I'm going to name layers as well, so we're going to call it sound. So we've got sound on top, then we've got animation, and then we've got video at the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to click on the sound layer. If we go to File, Import, we can click on Import to Library again. We can navigate to the sound file again, which you should have downloaded from Teams, which is provided. Double click on that. That will bring it into the library here. Ignore that bit there. So bring it into the library here. We can now drag that from the library onto the stage, and you'll see that that will appear on the timeline here, and we can see this orange waveform, which is a visual representation of the sound. Okay, now if you want to test that, again we've got the little player here. We can just press play and you'll see we've got all elements playing together, the sound, the video and the animation. And stop that, pause that. Okay, so on to the final stage now. Once you've created your animation and your video and your sound, you're happy with the whole composition, we're going to finally now put this into Premiere, just so we can import the whole thing as an MP4. We can't export, should I say, the whole thing as an MP4, which is something that we can't do from Animate. So to do this, okay, once we're happy with this, we're going to delete the video, okay, and then we're going to re-import the video into Premiere. So all you need to do, if you click on the video layer, put that in the bin, click on the video in the library as well, okay, and again put that in the bin. Okay, then if you go to File, Export, Export Video / Media, okay, you will get a dialog box here. Make sure that you select entire movie, ignore stage color, we want a transparent stage, format should be QuickTime, so you can click on the drop down if it's not and select QuickTime. Again, just make sure this is being outputted to your folder, your animation and video folder, and then export. Okay. Now if you minimize Animate and open Premiere, okay, open Premiere, create a new project. Again, we'll call this animation and video, Anim and video. And again, just make sure you save this into the video and animation folder. So you can click on browse to navigate to that if you need to. Then if we go to File, Import, go to the animation and video folder, and again we want to import the video in MP4 format. So if we select the video MP4, that will bring that in. We want to import the audio in as well, so File, Import, bring the audio in. Okay, so we can put these down on the timeline, we can drag these down. So we've got the video here, we've got the audio. Okay, and then finally the animation itself, so File, Import again. So File, Import again, you again into the video and animation folder, and you will see this is the published animation. Now if you remember, we published it as a QuickTime, so the QuickTime will say MOV file. So if you mouse over that again to check, it should say item type MOV file. Double click on that, that imports the animation in, and then we can drag that again down onto the timeline above the video. So we have the animation, the video and the audio we used, and you can see if we scrub the playhead, we've got all three. Okay. Final thing is, you might find that the audio file, well with this example the audio file is longer than the clip, so we just need to trim that down. Okay, so we can just chop that with the razor, select what we don't want and delete. So now we have a nice neat composition. And finally we want to export this now as an MP4. So if you go to File, Export, Media. Okay, format at the top here. Make sure that's H.264 again, which is MP4. Again, output name here. You might want to change that, so we can give that a name. So maybe animation and video final. Again, that goes in the video and animation folder. Okay, and then finally click on export. And that will export the whole thing neatly packaged as an MP4. Okay, if we go into our animation and video folder, you will see your Anim and video final file, and it will say under type MP4. If we open that, and it will automatically play our finished composition. Okay, so that's how we export as an MP4.